Help! I need help! Oh, God. That's horrible. Okay, let's blast through this. 5 minutes? Let's do it.
Sure.
Yeah, right. All right.
Go
ahead.
3, 2. Welcome, everybody. Comically Gaming, episode 138, second week of April 2019.
The Jeff and Dirk Show.
The Jeff and Dirk Show again. It wasn't even a year ago that we did the D&J show.
I know.
Again.
We need to do it more often. It's so much better without.
One is out for real life issues, and Corey pulled his thumb playing disc golf today, and he had to go to the doctor. So, I don't know what the status.
Hey, the doctor.
The doctor. His name is. There's 3 of them. I think it's Jim, Jose.
Don't do it. So, how was your week, Jeff?
My week was a blur.
Yeah.
Like, I played some Sekiro, and
I can't wait.
And it was just banging my head against these 2 dudes. One's a boss. I figured out one is actually a boss battle.
Yeah.
Because he just destroys me. They gave him a horse, and I'm like, dude, no, this is not fair whatsoever. And the other one, it's just painful because you have to clear out mobs around him single-handedly, try and draw them away one by one so you don't aggro the other guy.
That is such a rough game, man.
and then if you do it right, you get lucky and you can list some aid from this one NPC. But if you set him off too early, he dies too quickly. So it's like, and then if you die, and then you resurrect, and then you die again, you gotta start all over again.
Oh my God.
And so it sucks. And other than that, work took a big chunk out of my free time.
You ain't kidding.
This week, not last week and this week. It'll be going up into actually right after watching Game of Thrones next Sunday.
Yeah.
I will probably be till 4 in the morning and then have to be up by 7 o'clock in the morning to cover first day of support because we're doing a major thing at work and it's my project, but I'm also the lead support for it. So it's
man.
Yeah, it's painful.
So yeah,
my life sucks right now. So yeah, I haven't done anything. I haven't even, seen Shazam, not that I have really a desire to see it.
Yeah.
And after the reviews of Hellboy.
Number 1 movie. Right.
Yeah, but I don't know. I'm saving up for Endgame. I checked on tickets. I can still get tickets if I want to see the movie at like 9:30 in the morning. Like decent seats. So it's not like this big, oh my God, you have to buy tickets a month in advance to see it.
I just made sure because the reason why I got mine as early is because I knew the theater's dedicated seating. Like you get to pick what chair you want.
Yeah.
So
reserved seating, we have that.
Reserve, yeah. So I was like, I want to be able to pick and not have to sit all the way in the front, or
Wow, Thanos, you're so big.
Yeah, exactly. So I wanted to be able to pick a chair. That's the reason why. But we got a matinee too, which is cool. We'll be there. We'll be out by 2 o'clock, I think, that day.
Yeah.
So.
Well, I haven't sat in the front row of the reserved seating theaters, which recline.
Yeah.
So, but I think that if you got a center seat with it reclining, you could lay back and still watch it. But if you get one of those side seats, you're effed. There's no way. There's no way. I might become handicapped. Just
Totally. No.
No, that's bad. I did not say that. So, anyways, yeah, that was my short,
week,
uneventful, like gaming week.
Yeah.
Real life week, it sucked.
Right. I'm totally echoing you. I didn't have much of like a gaming or comic book or whatever. It was life week, you know.
Yeah.
It was I mean, I'm not gonna go into detail here, but like I said, I had to get over some work things, and then I figured some stuff out over I'm a lot better now. I'll put it that way. Starting Sunday, Game of Thrones made everything better. So, but we did get a 55-inch TV for the living room, and the reason I bring that up is because I tried to play Uncharted on it, and it's crazy how the spatial recognition of the game, not the graphics or anything, but you playing it, I was terrible at first. I was like, why? I was like, what's going on here? Like, I'm getting killed. I'm not seeing people as well. Like, but it doesn't look any different, and I don't understand what's happening. And my wife said, you have to sit back from the TV.
Yeah.
Because, you know, she's playing Overcooked too, and she had the same issue. She was like, I was terrible when I was sitting up in front of it, but you have to like sit all the way back, and then the screen kind of minimizes. Then you're like, oh, okay, now it makes sense. So, yeah. So still playing Uncharted 3. I like it because it kind of humanizes Nate a little bit. You know, he was sort of just standard cardboard. You know. Yeah, typical white dude with spiky hair, whatever. But
3 is where it took off. 3 is when they actually like, wow, we have something here. Let's actually write a story around this.
Yeah.
Flesh out the character and build the character out.
Absolutely feels like it. Yeah.
Now
they're giving them some depth there.
Is 3 one that takes place in like a Middle Eastern city at one point?
Yeah.
And there's helicopters?
Yep.
And following. Okay. Yeah, I know. I don't want to spoil it for those that may not have played it yet. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, that one got really good.
And they flash back to his childhood.
Oh, yes.
Huge. Yeah.
Yeah, which was crazy.
Yeah, big time. I did not even expect them. The way that the series had been going, I didn't expect that at all. I was like, whoa. Like, they're actually, like, it's, wow, I'm totally invested. I mean, I was invested before just based on the mechanics and how fun the game was. But the story actually got added into it, you know, fleshed out. So.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Besides that, I mean, I think that's it. I've been researching things to run next after Ravenloft, but I think I'm gonna do Salt Marsh so that it's fresh and we all get a like brand new shot at the brand new thing. I'm just gonna pick a different setting to do it in.
Okay.
Yeah, that way we get the shot at doing ship battles. I really want to do ship battles, but I don't want it to just be your standard, I guess, Forgotten Realms thing or standard D&D thing. I would love to add like some Eberron mechanics into that and make it just crazy swashbuckling like madness.
That'd be sweet. I mean, I'm curious to know how they're going to do ship combat with the D&D rule set and try to treat it like a naval battle, because that's kind of weird. Just
they gave a flash of it in the Unearthed Arcana. They released that. I didn't really read through it though, and it's also, I mean, it's anytime they release Unearthed Arcana, it gets mutated because it's based off of. They release it to the fans. They let the fans play test it. Then they give the survey. The fans survey it back and say what they like or don't like about what was released. And then that's what makes Wizards of the Coast so awesome, is they let the fans build, you know, literally build the game. So, yeah, I can't wait. I really want to take it in a different direction for stuff that we just have not been able to do in Ravenloft, because Ravenloft is just not that kind of game.
No, it's not.
You know, it's a very personal, very close, sort of intimate slash dungeon crawl, and I really want to get it more wide scope, you know, cinematic experience. So I think that would be cool. We'll see. I'll see what you guys want to do. So
all right, sounds good.
That was my week.
All right, that was our shortened version of the week. News of the week.
News of the week. The two-man news of the week.
Two-man news of the week. So we have a shortened news of the week. Didn't seem like a lot of things were happening this week.
There's a lot of non-nerd stuff happening.
There was a lot. There is a lot happening, and we are recording this a day later.
R.I.P. Notre Dame, by the way.
Yep.
Yeah, so.
Our thoughts. Hey, but it's one thing the French have gotten right. It lasted for like 800 years.
Yeah.
So,
yep.
And how many wars did it go through? I mean, think about French Revolution. You know, the big ones: French Revolution, and then World War I, World War II.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Oh, I mean,
French Revolution is a big one because they were after the religion as much as the politics of
they
it.
Were. So these news items this week are not in any particular order. There's no ranking of 1 through 5 or 4 in this case. So I'll kick it off. First one, there was a pretty big event happened in EVE this past week. A CSM member, which is CSM is the Council of Stellar Management, was perma-banned for life from playing EVE.
What happened?
So I'll tell you, CSM is a group of 12 players that are voted by the rest of the players in the game to represent players' voices, and they travel to Reykjavik 6 times a year on the expense of CCP, the company that made EVE.
That's incredible.
And they get with the developers and they have roundtable discussions, and they talk about what they like, what they don't like, what they could possibly change, and shape how EVE evolves and what changes are made to how battles occur.
Wow.
And everything. So what happened was it was brought to CCP's attention by the rest of the CSM members that one of the members was divulging information to another player that said it to another player that was making monetary gains based on changes that could be coming to the game.
Okay.
Those are the official allegations. I listened to an interview on a podcast. It's called Talking in Stations, which has some very high-profile EVE players.
Mm-hmm.
I listened to the actual interview from the day the announcement came out with this person. His name is Brisk in game. In real life, he is a lobbyist in Congress for maritime law.
Wow.
So not only was he banned from a game for life on that character, this could have serious implications against his real world job, because basically he went against an NDA, allegedly.
What?
Yes.
That is insane.
It's crazy. So he gets banned for life. 2 other players that were involved get a 1-year ban. It's possible that they could have the ban reversed, but CCP doesn't work that way. And he was notified by an email after the fact.
Wow.
And so this has blown up EVE.
Yeah, I can imagine.
It's quite serious. So it's really interesting, the politics and real life implications that happens around a video game that's been going on for 15 years.
That is just, there's no comparison to that, really.
There really isn't.
No, not with that grave of implication. I mean, there's I guess there's lower stuff that happens, but that tends to be social stuff that's unconnected to the actual community and gameplay, like just the personality of whoever it is, the gamer that might say something racist or whatever he does online, and might get banned from a platform. That's not the same. This is like that's insane.
It is insane. And there's been some pretty high level like CSM members have been banned, not banned, but they've been kicked from the CSM. One was kicked for making homophobic comments.
Mm-hmm.
There have been, people that have been banned for making real life threats.
Yeah.
The Russians have hacked into people's bank accounts trying to destroy their actual bank account so they can't pay to play the game.
What?
Yes.
That's wild.
But this one is, this is the second high profile person to have something happen to him in the game. When you think about for Americans, the other one was, there was a guy named Sean Smith whose in-game name was Vile Rat, rest in peace. He was killed at the attack in Benghazi.
Oh, wow.
So he worked for the CIA. Or no, he was the IT guy for the ambassador in Benghazi.
Mm-hmm.
And he played Eve. There's actually a monument in-game created for him.
Oh, wow. That's crazy.
So, all right. So that is my Eve banter. That I get
no, that's awesome, though. That one.
Us.
Yeah, that one I totally... That's super interesting. That's crazy.
All right. Our next topic is sort of...
Yeah.
Hurts
next...
feelings.
Right. Next up... we knew about Legion, but did not know that Preacher would be ending after season 3. It's always season 4, I guess. Yeah, because we already did season 3. For some reason, I said season 3. Season 4.
Yeah.
I'm sad to see it go, but I've never. I never dislike when a show ends on its own terms and does it. Because I feel like the alternative to that is just a show just going on for, no end in sight, writing terrible or hackneyed, like just middle ground material and like becoming a shell of what it once was.
Like season
earlier.
4 Arrow.
There you go. And I don't want to see Preacher do that, and I totally could. I could see them, just mailing it in at some point, and who knows? I don't think anybody on there has any super huge career moments happening outside of the woman that plays Tulip. I can't think of her name right now, but she's actually kind of blowing up out of the crew. So maybe it has something to do with that. I don't know, but I think it's great in a way. I'm just sad to see it go. It's my favorite show on TV, but I understand completely.
Well, the good thing is they know that this is their last season.
Yeah.
So they can write it to end it.
Same thing with Legion. It happened. They released that information before and said, "Look, this is the last one. We know how to wrap it up.
Yeah,
let's do it."
The same goes for how they finished the season 2 of The Punisher. We didn't know they were going to cancel after season 2 on Netflix. Mm-hmm. So they managed to write season 2 that the way it ended, it made sense. It could be a cliffhanger, but if there wasn't a season 3 and that was it, I'd be fine.
Yeah.
Because it ended so well, it didn't leave you hanging like Lost did at the end of season 1 or something like that.
Right. Yeah. So yep. Sad to see it go. But.
It is. Next up is AMC is trying to kick the dead cash cow of Walking Dead with the announcement of a third Untitled Walking Dead series. It's not a spinoff. They say it's a separate story.
All right.
I think that cow is dead.
Yeah, I don't know. It's not my universe to really preach on. I don't watch it. I watched it originally a long time ago, but I've never seen one episode of Fear.
I never have either.
I don't know how people feel if they're clamoring for more. For me, it feels like there's so much Walking Dead out there already. Why would you need more? But I don't know if AMC is pulling a I guess like a, I don't know if it's like a Hollywood thing that AMC's doing where they're like just grasping at, because AMC used to be really good about like fresh shows.
Yeah.
You know, a lot of output, like a lot of good content with different programs coming out. And it's disappointing that they're starting to do this.
Yeah.
You know? Like because they could just start something new and fresh and like bring in more ideas instead of just riding, like you said, the dead cash cow.
Yes.
I
It's
just
kind of like
yeah.
it's kind of like Disney. I mean, Disney did announce that after episode 9 they're going to put it on hiatus because they got to let the cash cow like go to the hospital, heal up.
Yes, you have to.
You do.
You know?
And
I
don't know, but the fourth and final topic, and it would have been awesome if I knew some people that would have really benefited from this that could have talked about it and had actually done it. But this last week, Sony.
You mean Corey Nate or Nate Corey?
Both of them. Tomax and Samok. That's. So
Right.
Sony had finally announced that you can actually change your PlayStation ID.
Bravo.
For a price.
Why did it take so long?
I don't know.
I don't get it.
And they said that any game released after April 2018 would be fine for mainstream games, but some third-party older games may suffer issues with save content if you change your ID.
That's
so.
I don't understand. Maybe somebody out there in tech land with Sony could explain why. I don't think any other console or company has this issue, right?
No, because Xbox has been doing it for a long time.
Yeah.
The only thing you can't change is your like sign-in email address on Xbox Live. Because if you have a problem with Xbox and you're drunk, don't call customer service. Because you won't tell them the right email, and then your email becomes the number of the ticket request that they open to fix your stuff, and you're forever branded with this weird long-ass email that you'll never use because no one wants to remember it.
It sounds like a nightmare.
So maybe next week we might have some like real-world examples to use. I don't know.
Maybe.
Cool.
Cool.
Hot topic.
Seething hot topic.
Burning
hot topic.
It lit up the internet.
Well, for very good reason. We're talking about the Rise of Skywalker trailer, everybody. Yes.
Everybody. Just the name alone, and it's so awesome that they put the name at the end of the trailer.
Yep. It was a fantastic trailer.
It was
on its own.
You could definitely tell that J.J. Abrams has directed this film.
Yeah.
Because once again, I got that giddy, nostalgic kid feeling of watching a Star Wars film. Don't get me wrong, I still like The Last Jedi, but when I saw this trailer, I was like, dude.
It's incredible. I mean, seeing Lando was unreal.
I know, right?
Lando in his ship. Yeah. In his ship.
Yeah. He got it back.
He got it back. Absolutely.
And the laugh.
And Leia. Yeah.
Yeah, Leia. That was that's interesting. I can't wait to see how they did that.
Yeah, I mean, you're a more, I mean, it's not that I love Star Wars to death, but you are knowledgeable. You and Nate are more knowledgeable. Are there any, like, things that you picked up on as a serious Star Wars fan?
There was a laugh. There was a laugh that you hear.
There was a laugh. Yeah, that
very much like Palpatine.
That could go either way. Correct.
And so I saw a picture today that was interesting because it had a Jedi holding a blue lightsaber, and all you saw was the half the lightsaber hilt and the blade. And then you see Palpatine sitting in his chair that he had on the second Death Star. And behind the Emperor's chair was a Camino.
What? What's that?
The cloners from Episode 2.
Oh, wow. So okay.
It's always been thought that Palpatine had a hand in dealing with the cloners, and it could have been possible that they cloned the Emperor. So, far-fetched theory would be that the Emperor on the Death Star was the clone of Palpatine, and the real Palpatine is still alive somewhere. I mean, that's a theory.
Yep.
I mean, and so then we ask who the Rise of Skywalker. Could it be that Anakin is back somehow? That's a hard sell.
Right.
The most obvious is that Rey is a Skywalker.
Yeah, I think that's the general.
That's the general feel.
Yeah.
And it's weird because I remember I had said that maybe Kylo and Rey are brother and sister to fit with the brother and sister
theme.
After the theme from Luke and Leia. But she would technically be a Solo and only half Skywalker.
Right.
Whereas if they allowed Luke to have a relationship with Mara Jade, who knows? But they also threw stuff in Solo with Darth Maul and the character that Emilia Clarke played.
Mm-hmm.
So that could be that.
Yeah, there's a lot of open possibilities.
And the trailer looks awesome. He knows how to do a trailer, and it's not that weird. I don't know, but in a sense, when you look at how Last Jedi's trailer was and how kind of it was somewhat of a darker film,
right?
It could have been paying homage back to Irving Kershner's Empire Strikes Back. I don't know.
Sure.
But the Rise of Skywalker trailer is awesome. I've watched it so many times.
I know. You know what made me emotional about it was that I realized that we're probably saying goodbye to those characters. It's going to be the last. Yeah, it's going to be the last time. And it's time that it happens. Don't get me wrong. Yeah, it's time.
Well, and they put it out that the 9 episodes have always been the saga of Skywalker.
Mm-hmm. Right.
It started with Luke, and then they backpedaled and talked about Anakin, and now we're in this new one, and it's like, where's the Skywalker? And they teased it where they're looking for Luke in Episode 7. They find Luke. He's really bitter and pissed off at himself.
Yeah.
But then he's gone. So if they're going to call it the Rise, it makes sense to be Leia. I mean, not Leia. It makes sense to be Rey,
mm-hmm.
because there's no way they can make Carrie Fisher do anything.
Yeah. I don't know. I think there's a chance also, and I felt this with the Palpatine laugh,
mm-hmm.
that we're overthinking individuals and not thinking about ideas.
Yeah.
So Palpatine doesn't necessarily need to be there to be there. You know what I'm saying? He doesn't actually have to physically be. I mean, we learned this with Jedis, and I guess I don't know how it works with Sith, but Palpatine's influence does not to be physically there for him to be a shadow cast over the whole movie. There could be something that he contributed or left behind or inserted himself from some past plot point into the current trilogy that really hadn't been felt up to this point, maybe that would explain why we heard that laugh. Same with the Skywalker thing also. You know?
In the movies, they've never really fleshed out the Sith and how the Sith work. I mean, a lot of the Sith lore comes from fan-based stuff, comes from fan fiction and other storylines. Mm-hmm. They did bring in like Darth Plagueis, which is the Sith Lord that somehow cheated death, and that's what Palpatine enticed Anakin with to turn him to the dark side in Episode 3.
Right.
So maybe it could be that because Kylo has Vader's helmet, could it be that Palpatine somehow, in a last desperate effort, infused his essence into Vader's helmet, and that's why it survived the fire? And that's what's guiding maybe Kylo.
There's a whole bunch of stuff.
It's crazy. I
felt the same way when we talked about Rise of Skywalker, that maybe we're overthinking the fact that maybe it is not a physical, actual descendant of the Skywalker bloodline, but the actual name or the usage of the Skywalker name as like a class of a Jedi. You know, I'm saying this as like an outsider, and I'm just grasping and you know, I know people want to see the bloodline continue, you know,
they do,
and all that, but I'm just saying, like, people need to open up and realize that maybe it's a lot bigger than just an individual, you know.
Well, I saw a news teaser headline. I did not read the article because I'm trying to just avoid anything spoilery with Star Wars. But I don't
read any of that shit.
I caught a blurb that said J.J. Abrams had revisited and has changed Rian Johnson's visage of how Rey's parents are, or who they are. I saw the headline. I didn't read the article.
The retcon of
Yeah, so that could have been clickbait. It could have been legit, but I wasn't clicking.
Nope.
Oh.
Yeah.
I don't know. We'll find out in December. We will find out, and I'm sure we'll see another trailer that'll make us just wait for... Never have I wanted it to be winter again so bad until I saw this trailer.
Absolutely. Dude, for so many... It's just... We're experiencing a good year, and not just, Star Wars, but film, I guess, Marvel. In general. Yeah, all of it. It's great.
I could talk... If we wanted to talk film and the cyclic of film, we could have a whole discussion on just that. Because someone's saying that every 20 to 30 years, there is like a year of great cinema. And the last year was 1999.
Yeah.
Because there was a lot of movies that came out, like Matrix, American Pie, American Beauty. I can't think of all of them, but that 99, they were listing off all these movies that came out, and I'm like, wow, yeah, that was a good movie. Yeah, that was a good movie. And before that was 69. You had a lot of great films come out in 1969. And then before that, in 1939, Gone with the Wind. The movies have changed since then, but Gone with the Wind was the biggest thing. But now I'm digressing from Star Wars to Gone with the Wind.
Gone with the Wind.
And we are out of time.
It's not much different. All right.
That has been our hot topic.
Yeah, thank y'all so much. Go check out the horror, philosophy, and culture podcast, Scary Thoughts. Co-hosts Mark Cate and Chad Lott cover classic and auteur horror films, going deep while keeping the conversation light. To listen, go over to iTunes, Stitcher, YouTube, or wherever you like to receive your dark sermons from the cursed minds of the damned.
We have a different schedule this week. Real quick, there was a bunch of streamers, and again, I want to apologize for what happened on the stream. Corey is fine. He is alive.
Barely.
He's just a little... He's a little sluggish. We'll just say that.
Yep, and he's doing good.
But as always, we appreciate everyone watching, sticking with us. I know we like to change it up on the fly and not really say anything. But we appreciate every week everyone stopping by. And if you really do like it, we really please ask that you please support us at patreon.com/GCandC. And for something as small as $1, it's cheaper than buying a Coke at the grocery store.
Is it, though?
1 month. It is. And just check us out. We have written content if someone has time. There is some great stuff on there. And you can follow us on Twitter at GCandC. And check out our Discord and our Facebook groups. There's a lot more stuff that goes on behind the scenes, a lot of conversation. And
drama.
It's lightning. And drama llamas.
You can grab a t-shirt or a sticker from the Games, Comics, and Culture store at teespring.com. And I'd also like to end this out by saying thank you to Fred Thomas for our opening music, the little zing zings, and Xee Reiter. Xee Reiter for our logo. That is not an Elvis. It is an Elvis song, but that's neither here nor there. Thanks for joining, everybody. Appreciate it.
Woo! And stay tuned for we go full spoilers. Game of Thrones, the last season, episode 1.
The show has no name.
Welcome, everybody. We are a very small group tonight for
Strapped. Yeah.
Our special segment of A Show Has No Name.
That's it.
And that's right. It has been over 1.5 years since we've recorded one of these because it's been 1.5 years since we watched Game of Thrones.
And
unless
in the air,
unless you just aren't really interested in high fantasy, you didn't miss this epicness.
There's a lot of people I know that don't give a shit about fantasy that love Game of Thrones.
That is true. And so many people have come on board, even Oreos. I bought the Oreo pack.
I had the Oreo pack.
I had the Oreo, and I didn't want to open it because I didn't want to ruin it.
We finished the bag. And listen, this was an omen. The first cookie out the bag, I shit you not, was House Stark, and it was cracked in half.
Wow. So that's interesting. You know, and there's been a lot of talk on the internet since yesterday. In less than 24 hours, the internet has come through with memes.
Oh, galore. It is so beautiful.
There was so many people like making comparisons to season 1, episode 1 to season 8, episode 1.
Right.
There's a lot of similarities.
Yeah.
There's a lot of similarities.
Yeah.
And, you know, it was... They are starting to wrap up. They are starting to wrap up, you know, stories and plot lines and stuff.
This is the end game. I know this word gets used a lot this year, but we're in it.
Even the starting was different. You don't have the globe anymore. They got more detailed on the map. It starts out at the wall.
The
you
ice.
go to and it just showed Last Hearth, Winterfell, and King's Landing. Because it always shows which areas the show's going to take place at.
And went inside the buildings.
And went inside the buildings.
Yeah.
It's crazy. Yeah. And have you noticed that the ring that goes around usually depicted stuff in the past that had happened? And now it was caught up to the future. It caught up to the present because you had dragons attacking the Lannister armies and the Tarleys. And you had all that. You had everything that had just happened through the last 7 seasons in that ring depicted.
Yeah. I feel like we're going to have to jump around here because we got abbreviated time. But I got to give the award of the night to Samuel Tarley for that performance. Yes. That was just such a heartbreaking scene. And like Game of Thrones has rarely made me. I don't think it's made me cry. I've had like sort of shirt tearing, like oh my god, agony, but never like on the border of tears. And Samuel Tarly got me there with the news about his dad and brother and Daenerys breaking the news to him.
And she was so callous when she talked about his dad. She's like Randall Tarly. She's like, oh, you know him. And yeah, he didn't bend a knee, so I executed him. Yeah. And then he tries to be Sam, and he's like, well, I didn't really like my dad that much, so well, at least I can go back home because my brother. No, he was there too, so you're pretty much.
Yeah, you're the head of household, bud. Yeah. There you go.
Because he stole a sword. You know, there was a lot more humor in this. There was a lot more humor in this than in the past.
Yeah.
And I think my favorite line in the whole show was when you see Tormund
about the
running,
blue eyes?
going through the cast through Last Hearth, and they don't know what's going on, and you see them like in that hallway, and they hear noises, all of a sudden they scatter to the sides, and then as they come around the corner, it's the men of the Night's Watch. And they're like, he's got blue eyes.
Yeah.
And Tormund's like, I've always had blue eyes.
Right. Yeah. Tormund is fantastic. Yeah, I think they had to everybody I talked to that are huge fans of the show mentioned that this was just an entry episode. It wasn't like I'm going to club you over the head with whatever, with drama or revelations or shocking scenes. It was just really to get you prepped for
it was
the craziness that's coming.
Yeah. And it was showing that things are coming full circle.
Right.
Because in the first episode of season 1, Robert Baratheon is coming to Winterfell marching troops. This opening scene, you have Daenerys and Jon Snow coming in, marching an army in, and she's the queen, and they call her Your Grace, which is the same thing I talked to Robert Baratheon about, being Your Grace.
Mm-hmm.
And then, there's other small things, like in the first one, Catelyn Stark asks where Arya is. In this one, John's like, where's Arya? And she's never there, because she's always scattering about.
Yeah.
There were so many. I mean, there are so many things. But then you get to see the last scene with Jaime Lannister coming to Winterfell, gets out. No one's recognized him. And then there's Creeper Bran in his wheelchair staring him down.
Yeah.
And you see the realization in Jaime's face, like, oh, that's the kid I pushed out the window.
And you see Bran doesn't care about it. Like, obviously Bran's above all this now. He's above petty, like, human transactions and relationships.
But he looks like a creeping pedophile.
But he's just, like, Jaime was horrified. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. I thought it was a solid episode, man. I mean, obviously, I always have some issues with some of the corny language that kind of gets thrown out sometimes. But the image of the kid from the beginning on the wall with the fire,
the different body parts doing that weird sun.
The spiral. It's the White Walker spiral.
Yeah.
It's from the first
episode.
Not first episode, but I think it's season 4 where they did it in the snow, right?
Is
the
it
bodies?
Season 4? I thought that was season 1.
It could be 1 or 4. I thought I read somewhere today. I thought it was originally 1, and then somebody told me it was 4. But whichever one it is, that image pops up again here, and it got you thinking, like, what is going on? Like, what's this symbol about,
Yeah. Well, I also like that you're seeing now a struggle with Jon Snow, and I'm wondering how the news of Jon being Aegon Targaryen of the Second, how is he going to, because all through it, he's always trying to hold with the image that Ned Stark taught him, because that was his dad. And so he's holding true to his honor, and I think that the reason why they're doing this is because he was basically going down the same road as Ned Stark, being so honor bound and blind to not know when sometimes you need to bluff your cards and sometimes to show your hand. And I'm wondering it with Tarly, with Sam telling him you're Targaryen.
Well, how much is he gonna?
You have a chance to change your path and your destiny, and not be so blinded by honor and duty that it risks you your life, because you're already living true to your Targaryen roots by nailing your aunt.
Yes.
So
and it also sets up a whole ball of resentment towards Daenerys that maybe wasn't there before. Like I mean, he already was feeling that with Samwell, I'm sure, when he learned about that.
Yes.
But now learning what he knows, he's got to be thrown a little bit. I mean, we saw it in his face.
Yes.
And the fact that he is a king, he is the king. It's a heavy crown to wear. Oh. So,
so I'm curious. And then another thing I was thinking of, I watched the last episode of last season before I watched this one last night.
Yeah.
And it shows the Night King riding the dragon that he killed and turned into an ice zombie dragon to take down the wall. And it got me thinking, could the Night King be Aegon Targaryen the First? Because he was riding the dragon, and it's known that Targaryens are the only ones that can ride dragons. Could he be the Night King? I don't know the
history of the Targaryens.
I don't either, but I'm saying, if you look at it, like, say that he defeated, or say his father defeated the Night King at one point. Go back a couple generations. His father defeated the Night King. Maybe it's part of that cycle that, the next one in line, when they died, took on the mantle of Night King.
That's something to think about.
And so, is the cycle going to continue? Now, Daenerys is pure. She's pure, I think, of Targaryen than Jon. I don't remember who Daenerys' mom was.
She's pure Targaryen.
So she's pure Targaryen.
Yeah.
Jon Snow is not. Jon Snow is a unification of House Targaryen, House Stark.
Yes, which has never happened before, I don't think.
I don't think so either, and I think that creates a stronger bond to be king of the Seven Kingdoms.
Right. Yeah.
I mean, it could be a weird twist because they put the Night King on a dragon.
Yeah.
And they'd never talked about that before.
Right.
So
something to check out. The people that know the Targaryens out there, if you know the history, because it's been published. Yeah. Yeah. Tell us in the comments if you know otherwise. But then I just want to end it on this real quick. Arya and
Hound?
Not the Hound. Robert's bastard son.
Yeah,
yes.
Robert's bastard son.
Somebody pointed out a meme where Robert and Ned had talked about wanting to join their houses.
Yeah.
Like, you have a daughter, I'll have a son one day. Maybe we get them together or something like that. And then they showed the flirting at the bottom.
Yeah.
I just thought that was fantastic.
I think that is awesome. And I saw the flirting. I forgot about that conversation between Robert and Ned.
Yes. Yeah.
I got to talk about it because I still liked when Arya saw the Hound coming into Winterfell. She had the snarkiest look on her face. And then you see daggers, and then she sees the Hound, and I love that interaction between her and the Hound.
Oh, it's fantastic.
Because he's
just like, one of my favorite characters.
He's like, you left me to die. And then she's like, yeah, and I robbed you too. So what you gonna do about it?
Yeah. No, the Hound's one of my favorites, man.
Yeah.
So I can't wait for next week.
I cannot either.
That's been a show has no name.
with
Yes.
2 people, and it would have been longer with 6 people. But and we've missed stuff because there's so much that happened.
There's
We
so much.
We didn't even talk about the Peep and Tom dragons watching Danny and Jon Snow get it on
Oh
at the
my
water.
god. I know. Reminds me of Tony a little bit. Anyway, cool.
All
Well,
right.
yeah, if y'all want to hit us up in the YouTube or the Discord so we can talk about it there, we'd love to talk. I can talk Game of Thrones all day. So hit us up there.
Hit
That's
us
been
up.
Comically Gaming.
Episode 138
There you go.
in the books.
Thank you, sir.
DJ Show, take 2.
Later.